Welcome back. Welcome back to Dating the Coded, everyone. It is so good to have you joining us once again.
Yeah, hey everyone. Always a pleasure to be here with you, Jake. And, we've got another really interesting one for you today. A little bit, dare I say, spicy?
Oh, spicy indeed, Mia. It's one of those topics that, it gets a lot of chatter, a lot of debate, but also a lot of results, right? We're diving into something that's often called push-pull, or sometimes people even call it negging.
Yeah, those terms definitely ring a bell for anyone who's, been around the dating advice scene for a while. And I think some people hear those words and, immediately their eyebrows go up,
Absolutely. It's a bit of a lightning rod, but we're going to break it down and really explain what it is, why it works, and how to use it, effectively and, importantly, playfully.
Exactly. So stick around for that because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying what we're doing here on Dating Decoded, please do hit that like button.
Yes, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. We've got a whole series of great content coming your way. And trust us, you're going to want to hear this one. It's a good one.
Oh, it's a good one. Trust us on that. All right, let's get into it.
So, Mia, when we talk about negging or push-pull, I think the first thing we need to do is kind of define it, right? Because, like you said, those terms can sometimes, raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the key word there, Jake, is playful. We're not talking about being genuinely mean or anything.
Right. No, not at all. So essentially what it involves is delivering what might seem like a backhanded compliment, or sometimes, a very light, playful insult. And the whole idea behind it is it's aimed at just ever so slightly, denting the target's self-esteem. Not in a hurtful way, but just enough to create a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of, so what was that?
Yeah, it's like you're creating a little bit of, a momentary imbalance, right? You're not just showering them with compliments, which, can sometimes just fall flat or feel a bit too much.
Exactly, because the goal isn't to be a jerk. The goal is actually to make them, subtly seek a little bit of validation from you. It shifts the dynamic. Instead of you constantly chasing, it actually makes the other person, kind of lean in and pursue a little bit. It's about reversing those roles in a way.
Yeah, that's it. It's instead of, us always being the ones pursuing, it allows for a bit of a flip where suddenly they're emotionally or even physically drawn to engage more with you. And, the article we were looking at, it really emphasizes that this isn't manipulative. It actually forms the basis for back and forth, truly playful conversation.
Oh, completely. It's about establishing that playful tension. It's not just, you're great, you're so amazing. It's you're great, but there's a little twist. It creates a conversation, right? Because if you just compliment someone, they might just say, thank you. And that's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just simple flattery. It's it opens up a doorway for more engagement. And, when you think about it, the most engaging conversations aren't usually just one-sided praise, are they? There's always that push and pull, that back and forth. This is just kind of strategically applying that.
Precisely. It's like a playful jab, a little, oh, did you just say that kind of moment that then invites them to respond, to engage further. It really is about creating intrigue.
Exactly.
So now that we've kind of defined it, I think it's worth diving into some of the specific examples, right? Because that's where people really start to get it, what does this actually look like in practice?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's not just a theory, is it? It's actual phrases you might say or actions you might take.
Right. And one of the core aspects that the article really highlights is backhanded compliments. And this is where it can sometimes, raise an eyebrow if you're not understanding the intent.
For sure, backhanded compliments. I mean, they sound on the surface is that really a compliment? But that's the whole point, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's a remark that appears to praise, but then it includes this subtle criticism. And the example they give is, you're cute, but you probably hear that all the time.
Uh-huh. Or even wow, you clean up nice, didn't expect that. It's like you're saying something positive, but then you're immediately undercutting it.
Yeah, exactly. Or oh, that's an interesting outfit choice. It really stands out. It's
Yeah, it's bold. It's very bold. No, I get it. And the idea is it's not meant to genuinely insult, but just to kind of make them think, wait, what did they just say? It's not a straightforward compliment that they can just dismiss.
Exactly. It's not just a thank you, bye. It's like, what did you mean by that? Which invites the conversation. And then there's playful teasing, which I think is a little more widely accepted and understood in general social dynamics, but it's part of this.
Oh, playful teasing is, I think, essential to any good banter. If you can't playfully tease someone, what are you even doing?
Totally. And the example here is like, that's a nice dress, but I think I've seen it somewhere before.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic. It's like, I'm admiring your dress, but also I'm implying it's not unique. It's subtle. It's light. It's not that dress is ugly. It's just like a little jab.
Yeah, it's a light jab. Or, you almost had that right. Almost, that kind of thing. It's just enough to create a little bit of intrigue that are they serious? Are they not kind of vibe?
Yeah. And what's interesting, the article then talks about how these kinds of interactions can actually lead to something called shit tests. And this is something that I've heard mentioned in some of the material that you might have picked up over the years.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's a concept that's very prevalent in, a lot of the dating literature out there. And it's basically where the other person, typically the woman in this context, challenges the man's confidence or intent.
Yeah, it's like she's testing you, right, to gauge your response. Like, are you confident enough to handle this, or are you going to, fall apart?
Exactly. It's like you throw out a playful jab, and she might come back with something like, oh, you think you're funny, huh? Or is that the best you've got?
Yeah, or like, ooh, I bet you say that to all the girls. And that's her kind of pushing back a little. And your response to that is what really shows your confidence and your ability to keep the playful vibe going.
Right. And that's where, the core intention here is never to be genuinely hurtful. It's always about the playful, non-harmful intent. If you're going for a genuine insult, that's not negging. That's just being rude.
Yeah, that's just being rude. And I mean, no one wants to date someone who's just rude, right? Like, that's not the goal here at all. It's about generating a little spark, a little bit of, ooh, this is different.
Yeah, exactly. It's creating a dynamic that's not just, dull or predictable. It's that little bit of spice, that little bit of, okay, what's going to happen next? That kind of thing.
Right. It's almost like you're setting the stage for a bit of a playful dance. Like, I'm going to nudge you, and then let's see how you dance back.
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps it light. It keeps it fun. If you throw out a backhanded compliment and someone genuinely gets offended, then you've either read the room wrong or you've gone too far. And that's when you just, you pull it back and you clarify.
You pivot. Yeah, you say, oh, no, I was just kidding. You look great, and then you just move on. That's the key, I think.
So, Mia, we've talked about what negging is, how it works, the types of jabs and teasing, but the big question that people always have, right, is why? Like, why does this actually work? What's the psychological purpose behind it?
Yeah, and I think this is where it gets really interesting because it's not just about throwing out a random comment. There's an actual intention behind it. And the article, it touches on it. It's about creating a balance of attraction where I guess the target becomes more interested in gaining validation.
Yeah, it's that subtle shift. Instead of you constantly trying to impress them, it flips the script a little and they're suddenly like a little bit more invested in getting your approval or your attention.
Exactly. It's like you're not just showering them with compliments that they might hear all the time. You're saying something that makes them pause and think, wait, does this person actually like me? What do they think of me? And that little bit of uncertainty can be very engaging, actually.
Yeah, it creates that push-pull, right? Like you're pushing them away a little, but then pulling them back in by engaging them. But we have to acknowledge, this technique, it definitely gets a lot of flack. It's received substantial criticism for being manipulative or disrespectful.
Oh, for sure. When you explain it, and especially when people hear about it for the first time, their immediate reaction is often, oh, that sounds so manipulative. Like, why would you want to play games? And I totally get that because the word negging itself just sounds negative, doesn't it?
It does. And I think that's where the nuance really comes in, right? Because the proponents, and I've read a lot about this in, various books and some of the, material out there, they argue that when it's done in a playful, non-hurtful manner, it's actually a tool for creating playful tension.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the key. It's the playful, non hurtful part. Because if you're actually trying to be mean or genuinely insult someone, then yeah, that's just being disrespectful. That's not what this is about.
Totally. And I think that's the line. You have to really understand the intention. It's not about making someone feel bad about themselves. It's about creating a dynamic that's not just, surface level small talk.
Yeah, and Jake, I've heard you talk about some of these concepts before, and I think it's funny because I've never actually been to like one of those seminars or read like all the books that you might have acquired over the years, but I've definitely heard about these techniques, through through you for one, and it's always interesting to me because it seems like women aren't really the target audience for these kinds of materials typically.
That's a very fair point, Mia. I mean, generally, no. You don't find a lot of women attending these particular types of workshops or reading these specific books, let's say. It's very much geared towards, men navigating these initial interactions.
Right, right. So I've always had like a bit of an outsider's perspective on it, but knowing you and how you approach things, I can see how in the right hands, it's not meant to be malicious at all. It's just a way to, like you said, build dynamic tension, create a bit of a spark.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you think about it, it's akin to, the playful teasing that you might have with a good friend. You're not trying to hurt their feelings. You're just, pushing their buttons a little bit to create that back and forth.
Yeah, and I think that's where people sometimes misunderstand it because they hear negging and they think negative, but it's more about it's kind of like seasoning for the conversation, isn't it? It adds a little bit of spice.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the main course. It's the seasoning that makes it, more interesting. If you're just blandly complimenting someone all night, it's not going to be a very memorable interaction.
Right, and then you're just another person who told them they were pretty. Like, that's not going to make you stand out at all. So the purpose, yeah, it's to create that balance where they're intrigued and they're looking for that validation from you, which is kind of a flip.
Yeah, and it shows that you're not easily impressed, that you're not just going to immediately fall over yourself for them. It creates a higher value for your compliments when they do come.
Absolutely. So it's not about being mean, it's about being clever and confident enough to kind of playfully challenge.
Precisely. And that confidence, I think, is a huge part of why it works. Because if you can deliver one of these lines playfully and confidently, it lands very differently than if you're, mumbling it under your breath, hoping they don't notice.
Yeah, if you're mumbling it, then you just sound like you're actually trying to be insulting, and then it's just awkward for everyone.
Yeah. And then you've crossed that line, and then you just have to pivot, right? Like we talked about before, like, oh no, it's just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be ready to recover.
Okay, so we've covered the theoretical side of negging and the emotional push-pull, but I think people are probably wondering, all right, Jake and Mia, give me some concrete examples. And the article actually gets into some really interesting examples of physical push-pull. This is where it gets a little more tactile.
Yeah, this is where it gets really specific, and I think it helps people visualize it because sometimes just talking about backhanded compliments, it's like, what does that even look like? But these physical ones, they're pretty bold.
They are. So the first one the article mentions is, it's a pretty straightforward. It says, hug her and then say, okay, that's enough. Physically pushing her a little bit. And you can imagine that, right? Like someone goes in for a hug and then it's almost like a playful shooing away.
Oh, that's so funny. Like you give a warm moment and then you just kind of like push them back like, all right, that's all you get.
Exactly. It's like, that's enough intimacy for now. We're cutting it off. And it's not meant to be like aggressive. It's just a light push. Like, okay, break away. It's unexpected.
Yeah, it's like a playful boundary setting, but it's also like, I'm not going to be too easy for you. It's almost like you want more, too bad.
Yeah, like you want more of this connection? Well, you're going to have to work for it a little bit. It's a very subtle way to create that dynamic, isn't it?
It is. And I think the unexpectedness of it is what makes it so intriguing. Because if someone just hugs you and then lets go, that's like normal. But if they hug you and then like shoo you away, you're like, wait, what was that?
Exactly. It's like, did I do something wrong? Was that not a good hug? It immediately gets them thinking.
Yeah, it engages their brain in a way that just a normal hug wouldn't.
Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, though, is even more, I think, theatrical. It says, grab her and pull her into you, stare into her eyes, then scoff as if she said something lame, and let her go, shaking your head and looking away.
Oh my gosh, that's a bold move right there.
That's a strong move, right? Like you pull them in, you're looking into their eyes, and then it's like, really? That's what you got? And then you just like shake your head and look away.
That's like a movie fiend, isn't it? Like you're pulling them in like you're about to kiss them, and then you're like, nah, not today.
Totally. And the article goes on to say, she'll ask, what? Or laugh, and you'll just throw a skeptical look on your face and shake your head some more. Anyway, you'll say, continuing on with your conversation.
Oh, the anyway, that's just like dismissive perfection.
It's like, yeah, that was cute, but we're moving on. And then it explains why this works, right? The sensation of being pulled into you is powerful. She doesn't know what you're going to do. Are you going to kiss her? Touch her? Just tease her like this? Then you act as if she did something silly and let her go. But she doesn't know why. Is it a game? Is it flirting? Does she do something wrong? Is there something wrong with her face or breath or hair?
Yeah, it creates all this like internal monologue for her. She's instantly wondering, what was that? What just happened? Why did he do that? And it consumes her thoughts, essentially.
It does. It consumes her thoughts, and it makes you, the person who did it, incredibly intriguing because you've just done something completely outside the norm. It breaks the pattern of typical interaction.
Right. And then that uncertainty, it's like, is he interested? Is he not interested? What's going on? And it makes them want to figure it out.
Exactly. It's that slight feeling of loss, right? Like, oh, I thought something was going to happen and then it didn't. And that makes you want to chase it a little bit.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. And I can see how that would definitely get someone's attention. I mean, it would get mine. I'd be like, what was that about?
It would. And then you'd be like, I'm going to find out, right?
Exactly. I'd be like, you can't just do that and then walk away.
Exactly. So it creates that intrigue, that uncertainty, that little bit of, I need to know more. And this ties into another physical push-pull technique that the article mentions, which is about takeaway.
Oh, takeaways. Yes. This is when you're like in the middle of a great conversation and then you just kind of pull back.
Exactly. So the article says, when you hit the high point in the conversation, the girl is laughing, initiates kino, etc. Half turn from her, get your phone out and start reading something. Then turn back, smile, and reinitiate conversation.
Oh, the old phone check. That's a classic, but it's done so intentionally here. It's not just like you're bored and looking at your phone.
No. It's very intentional. It's designed to, as the article says, make her get the feeling of loss. Not anxiety, but just like, oh, I had his full attention and now I don't.
Right. It's like you're pulling the rug out from under them just for a second and then you put it back. So they're like, wait, where did the rug go?
Exactly. Where did it go and how do I get it back? And the article emphasizes the reward, which was a smile and reinitiating conversation, is essential to make her feel like she's got your attention back. So you don't just like look at your phone and then keep talking to someone else. You re-engage.
Yeah, it's crucial. Otherwise, you're just being rude. You're not doing push-pull. You're just ignoring someone.
Exactly. And then the whole point is that this shifts the dynamic. Even after doing just a small takeaway can make a big shift from you chasing her to her chasing you. And it calls these pings. You can tell how much a girl is into you by how much she is willing to chase.
That's so smart because it's like a mini test. It's like, are you invested enough to like re-engage me or are you just going to let me go?
Right. And if she's like, hey, what are you doing over there? Or, are you listening? Or she tries to pull you back into the conversation, then you know, okay, she's engaged. This is working.
Yeah, it's almost like a calibration tool, isn't it? To see how receptive she is to that playful push.
Absolutely. It's a barometer for interest. And these physical cues, I think, are really powerful because they're not just words. They're actions that create an immediate visceral reaction.
Totally. And it gets her out of her head, too, because she's not just like analyzing your words. She's reacting to what you're physically doing, which is a lot more impactful.
Yeah, it creates a little bit of that emotional roller coaster in a good way that we talked about earlier. Just a little up, a little down, keeps things interesting.
Exactly. It keeps them on their toes, which is ultimately what you want, right? You don't want them to be bored.
Never bored. Not on our watch.
Never bored, absolutely. And I think that leads us perfectly into the next type of push-pull, which is emotional push-pull. I mean, we've talked about the physical, which is very in the moment, but the emotional stuff, that's where it really gets into like playing with their mind, in a good way, of course.
Yeah, the mind games, Mia. The beautiful mind games. Not manipulative, just strategic.
Strategic, exactly. It's about planting seeds. Yeah, it is. So the article gives some really fantastic examples here, and this is where you start to see how you can like create these little flickers of emotion. So the first one, it says, "You has the best smile I've seen tonight," and then it has a parenthetical, "begin counting in fingers." No, wait, actually the third best.
You just pull the rug right out from under them. Like, oh, you thought you were number one? Nah, you're good. You're like top 3. And that immediately, it's like, wait, what? Right?
Yeah, and it's so playful. It's not like your smile's ugly. It's like, it's good, but it's not the best, which is even funnier.
Exactly. And it makes them want to like prove they're the best or at least understand why they're not. It creates that, what do I need to do to get to number one kind of thought.
Yeah, it's like a challenge almost. I love that.
Right? Another one it says is, get away from me. I can't have you around. You're way too cute and tempting.
Oh, that's so good. It's like, you're too much for me. I can't handle it.
Exactly. It's like I'm pushing you away because you're so attractive that I'm like overwhelmed. It's a compliment wrapped in a push.
Yeah, it's like you're creating this narrative that they're almost dangerous because they're so attractive.
Right, exactly. And it's like I'm self-preserving by pushing you away. But it's clearly like a playful, I'm still very much interested.
Yeah, it's like you're giving them credit for their attractiveness, but you're also setting a boundary in a playful way.
100%. And then here's one that I think is really powerful that gets into what the article calls the hidden power of push-pull. It says, I bet we'd make a really good couple. Scratch that. I bet we'd fight all the time.
Oh, that's so sneaky. Because for a split second, you're imagining it, right? You're like, oh, a good couple. And then it's like, nah, we probably hate each other.
Exactly. You paint this picture, this beautiful romantic picture of you two together, right? Like, oh, we'd be so good together. And for that split second, she's probably like, oh, yeah, we would. And then you immediately pull it back like, nah, we just argue all the time. And it creates that like almost that feeling of a lost future, even though it was never there.
It's like a mini roller coaster of emotions. Like, oh, yes. Oh, no. And it's so quick.
And the article actually explains why this is so powerful. It says, this last example highlights one of the hidden powers of push-pull. Push-pull can give you the chance to paint pictures in a woman's head that set the frame for the two of you being together. E.g., in the example just above, you paint the picture of the two of you in a relationship, then paint the picture of the two of you still in a relationship, now fighting, which is also endearing to a girl and makes it feel like she's known you far longer.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it's not just about pushing and pulling, it's about building a narrative in her mind. Like you're fast-forwarding your relationship in her head.
Exactly. You're creating shared history that hasn't happened yet. Like, oh, we've already had this thought about being together and even fighting. It's like you've been through a whole relationship arc in 10 seconds.
That is brilliant. That's next level because it makes the connection feel deeper and more familiar than it actually is.
It does. It makes it feel like you've known each other for ages, right? Because you've already had this like imagined scenario together. It's incredibly powerful.
Wow. And that's something you would never get with just a straightforward compliment, like you have nice eyes. That doesn't create a whole narrative in her head.
No, not at all. And it's memorable, right? She's not going to forget that interaction. She's going to be thinking about, what was that about? Did he really think we'd be a good couple or did he really think we'd fight?
Yeah, and it plants that seed of intrigue that makes her want to explore it further. Like, maybe we wouldn't fight. Maybe we would be a good couple.
Exactly. Another one that kind of plays into this is, we would never get along. We are too similar.
Oh, that's a good one too. Because it's like you're too much like me, which is almost like a compliment, but also a reason not to be together.
Exactly. It's like, we're both so awesome, we'd probably clash. Which again is a compliment, but it's got that little twist.
Right, or you're either the coolest girl I've ever met or you're the most crazy one.
Yeah, that's like you're on one end of the spectrum and I don't know which one yet.
Exactly, and again, it makes someone prove which one they are.
Yeah, exactly. And then if I was into brunettes, I would be all over you.
Oh, that's so specific, and it immediately makes them think, well, why aren't you into brunettes?
Exactly. And it's a huge compliment, right? It's like you're so attractive that if you were just a different hair color, it would be over.
Yeah, it's like you almost got me.
Exactly. And then another one, I would invite you over sometime, but something is creepy about you.
Oh, that's really bold.
That's bold, but again, it's like, I like you enough to invite you over, but there's just something off. And it makes them think, what's creepy?
Yeah, it's like you've got me almost convinced, but there's a little red flag I need to figure out.
Right. And then, hey, you have beautiful eyes. They're almost as pretty as mine.
That's pure arrogance, but in a charming way.
Yeah, it's like, you're pretty, but I'm prettier. It's just such a playful way to deliver a compliment.
It is. And I think that's the key with all of these, right? It's that underlying playful tone. Because if you said any of these with a straight face, you'd just be a jerk.
Oh, absolutely. The intent and the delivery are everything here. And then the last one on this list is, say I hate you while smiling and giving her a sideways hug.
Oh, that's just pure contradiction. Like your words are saying one thing, but your body language is saying the exact opposite.
Exactly. And that's that push-pull, right? Like the I hate you is the push, but the smile and the sideways hug is the pull. And it's like, what do I believe?
Yeah, it just creates this tension that's really engaging.
Yeah, it just creates this tension that's really engaging.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we've gone through a lot of examples, both physical and emotional push-pull. And, we've talked about what it is, why it works, the different types. I think the big takeaway for me, though, is what you just said, Jake. It's the intent and the delivery.
Yeah, Mia, that's the absolute crux of it. I mean, you can read all the books, you can, go to all the seminars, but if you don't have that playful intent and you're not actually being authentic about it, it's just going to fall flat. Or worse, it's just going to come off as creepy or insulting.
Exactly. And it's not about being manipulative, like we've touched on that. It's really about creating a fun, dynamic, engaging conversation. It's not about tricking someone into liking you. It's about, sparking something that's real, just like with a little bit of a twist.
Right. And it's about, I think, also reading the room. You can't just go in there with the canned line and expect it to work on everyone. You have to gauge their reaction. If someone looks genuinely offended by something, you've probably pushed too hard, and maybe just back off a little.
Oh, absolutely. That's key. It's like these are tools in your toolbox, but you don't use a hammer on every single nail. You've got to feel it out. Is this person receptive to playful banter? Are they, easily offended, and adjust accordingly?
Yeah, totally. And I think the goal here always is to avoid genuine offense. You're not trying to actually make someone feel bad about their smile or their hair or anything like that. It's purely for the fun, the back and forth.
Yeah, it's like if you can make them laugh or even just give you that confused, intrigued look, you've probably hit the mark. But if there's stone-faced or walking away, then maybe you need to rethink your approach.
Yes, definitely rethink your approach there. But I think when it's done right, these techniques, they genuinely create a more memorable interaction. People aren't going to remember the 100th compliment they got that day, but they might remember the playful tease that made them think, or the push-pull that just made them laugh.
Yeah, that's so true. It really distinguishes you from everyone else. And it's not about being mean or anything like that. It's just about being genuinely charismatic and playful. And I think that comes from a place of confidence too.
Yeah. And I think that's the other part of it. It's not just about the lines. It's about the confidence that you deliver them with. Because if you're not confident, these lines will just sound, like you're trying too hard or you're being genuinely rude.
100%. It's the package deal. So yeah, I guess our final thoughts on this topic are really, approach it with genuine playful intent, be observant of the other person's reactions, and remember, the goal is always to have a fun, engaging conversation, not to be like a puppet master.
Exactly. Fun and engaging. That's what Dating Decoded is all about, right? Trying to decode the fun and engaging parts of dating.
That's right.
Well, this has been another really insightful episode of Dating Decoded. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Jake, for always, bringing these fascinating topics to the table. And to all our listeners out there, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, and definitely hit that notification bell.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got so much more coming up in this series on, navigating the world of dating and relationships. We'll be diving into more interesting techniques and just generally trying to make things a little easier and a little more fun out there.
That's right. So stay tuned for the next installment of Dating Decoded. We'll be back really soon with another engaging topic. Thanks again for listening, everyone.